And welcome to a World of Warships video, in case the title page didn't give it away. This is a video featuring the U-69, which is the Tier 6 German submarine. It's a tech tree submarine. It's the only submarine I've got, and I'm playing with it until I get enough credits to work out what I want to do. Anyway, as you can see, the ship on the screen is not the U-69. This is the Tier 10 Minotaur, one of my few Tier 10 ships, and probably the only Tier 10 ship I play consistently, and very much probably the only Tier 10 ship that I'm capable of getting a win out of. And the reason that I'm featuring this up front is that I've discovered that at the 10,000 foot view, this Minotaur and the U-69 have pretty much the same function at the start of each match. Yep, this... So I'll explain. Obviously, here we have a Shimakaze overextending, and what he's trying to do is to basically get his torpedoes out, make a menace of himself, grab space, and deny us space. However, this Minotaur is a radar Minotaur, and the role of this ship at the start of the game, and particularly the Radar Edinburgh, which I also play, is to start clearing out some of those destroyers to give us the space to move. So I've never played them with smoke. I have no idea what it's like. But with the U-69, it's the same role. So here you can see the roster. We're down the bottom where we deserve to be because we're in the filthy submarine that everybody, I'm sure, on the team is absolutely thrilled to have on their side. We're facing off against an enemy cachalot. I think I show the scores at the end. I do my job extremely well, as you'll be able to see from the scoring page if you make it all the way through the end of the video. So in the estuary, what we're trying to do is, what I've discovered is that I'm starting to make some assumptions around how I play. So the first thing I'm trying to do is spotting, then securing caps, and then finally I get around to shooting stuff. And it's really important to do it in that order because the spotting deals with a major threat, and the major threat that I have is DDs. And the reason that they're a major threat is because, well, if they get within 3 kilometres, there's not a lot I can do because the torpedoes do 10% damage out to 3 kilometres. I have a deck gun, but I'm not going to take that up against a destroyer. So basically, I need those destroyers gone. I have very little capability of dealing with them myself, so really, team play is the way to go. So in exchange for coverage from the team for dealing with destroyers, I get to scout. Now, I probably have the best concealment. There may be some destroyers with better concealment, but I have extremely good concealment. And if I'm discovered, I have an exit route, which is obviously to submerge. Now, I want to make sure that I stay within reasonable shooting distance of the team. So what I'm trying to do here is just pull through the gaps, get out into this clear zone, and show our team that it's safe to move up into some positioning. There is only 2 caps, so really there's no need to try and drive. There's no cap to try and capture. So I'm trying not to get too far ahead. But as you can see to the left, there is a destroyer. And yeah, my job is to help provide coverage for him, because if he's up the front, well, he's going to suffer the fate that I don't really want. I want our destroyers around because our destroyers are capable of dealing with enemy destroyers. So you can see I'm moving into the space. I'm staying on the surface. If I do spot an enemy submarine, I want to stay within reasonable friendly distance so that my friendlies, especially the battleships, can start dropping depth charges on them. But you can see that we've spotted some of the larger ships. I think we've got some spotting ribbons. That's nice to see. And at some point, we're going to be starting to get a good view of the destroyers. Now, I don't have radio location. I'm not even sure if that's a captain skill. I think I've got a 6-point captain in this at the moment. I think I have 1 skill selected because I'm trying to make up my mind, but I'm getting sort of a bit more ready for choosing the first 6 skill points, which will bring my captain up from novice to ordinary. But we're turning away, I'm not turning in. All I'm trying to do is maintain this presence, stay out in front of the team, spot some torpedoes, that's already nice to see. and at some point the DDs will come out to play, and our team has moved up to within a reasonable distance. Now, if we spot an enemy submarine, they may be a little bit, some of them may be a little bit far away to do anything about it. Our friendly destroyer is right behind me. That's lovely. Oh, there goes the enemy submarine. It's over there. It's basically, you can see its ping. It's firing off its torpedoes. We've got a smoke screen. I'm going to turn in towards the smoke screen, but the destroyer comes out of the smoke screen. I don't know why he set it. Why did you bother to set the smoke screen if you immediately go out of it? I suppose because it attracts torpedoes. Anyway, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get some clearance, but we're trying to keep him spotted. So I went to periscope depths to avoid the worst of the damage, and then I get up above periscope depth, get him spotted. He's getting hit by the team pretty hard. I want to make sure that he doesn't get out of visibility, and I don't want him to get too close. That hurt. That was the enemy battleships shooting at me. Thoroughly deserved, because yeah, I'm their biggest threat, although in this game I don't cause too much damage. You can see their destroyer is being forced to overextend because it's got visibility. I submerge. I take a bit more damage, but I need him gone, so I surface again, hoping for the best. Where is he? I'm going to put some torpedoes into that smoke screen just to treat him. Well, there we go. I'm not going to put torpedoes into the smoke screen. We've got visibility of him. We're undetected because he's behind the island. And we're going to try and maintain that visibility. Turning in, he comes around the point of land. I probably should have submerged because I think our team's well and truly got him spotted. But as it turns out, I'm detected. I put a ping out. He goes down, and I probably should have submerged because I've completely forgot that, yeah, I'm public enemy number one. So there you go. Down to a fraction of our starting hit points right at the start of the game. And yeah, but the destroyer's down. I'm still alive. I can scout, not so effectively with this many hit points, but I can certainly provide scouting. Capturing caps, well, if they're uncontested, I can still do that, and I'm still points on the board. So yeah, I feel like I've done my role, probably not particularly well, because I probably didn't need to get hammered by those last shots, and I think that enemy destroyer was well and truly spotted by our team anyway. So now we're turning back in for a bit more spotting. There's another destroyer out there. There's some battleships. There's still that submarine. Admittedly, I don't want to get too close to that because, yeah, his deck gun will make short work of me. But we are trying to basically provide some spotting for the team. You can see our friendly DD is out there. I'm coming in as close as I dare. I don't want to be detected because I will get those torpedo bombers or the depth charge bombers launched in my direction, and they will make short work of whatever points I have left, which is not very many. Right, but anyway, that doesn't stop us from opening the gap a bit so that we can get those battleships beyond our detection range. And what we're going to start to do is to turn in and see if we can get some torpedo hits. As a clue, a bit of a spoiler, I'm not going to get torpedo hits. But I am going to make myself noisy, and I am going to force them to go the long way around the islands, because some of them look like they're a little bit on low health. So what I've got is got torpedoes away. If I ping that guy, the torpedoes are going to ram the island, so I need them to go through that gap. Even then, well, we're spotted. It's not good, ping, so we're going to submerge. That ping goes straight over the top of us. Bit of submarine versus submarine combat, and I'm going to start running perpendicular because those battleships, if they're going to launch torpedo bombers, depth charge bombers, they'll probably launch them in a line down because I was heading their direction. You can see I'm detected. I get pinged on the nose. Now this is interesting. So we're already defensive relative to the enemy submarine, and pinged on the nose. So I'm not going to use my damage control because basically we're already in the crank. And there you go. You can see successfully cranked those torpedoes. So what does the crank mean? I'll explain it in the next video. And if you're wondering, are you really going to force me to watch another video to understand something you could perfectly well explain now? The answer is yes. Have a look at what I'm playing if you're wondering about my ethics. Anyway, we get another ping. I do damage con that because it's not on the nose and because I don't know how far out the torpedoes are. So I'm going to try and open up some distance. I don't think I could have cranked those, not with a tail aspect on the ping. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. It's not the last time you'll see a crank in this battle, even though you may not know what it is. It's awfully dark down here. And one of the problems I have is not running into islands. So I have found that if you press the N, the horn button, it will basically flash out and show you roughly what the seabed looks like, which is quite a useful way of not ramming into islands. I'm also making extensive use of the minimap, which I've used the plus key on the keyboard to increase the size of. I was trying to find all sorts of different ways. How do I increase the size of the minimap? And then it was just use the plus and minus key. So I've got the opacity up so that I can see a little bit through it, but the minimap is essential. And as you can see, I'm just trying to get out of dodge because I need to conserve the points for the team, because if I die, then that just helps equalize. And you can see we've lost a friendly ship. So it was sort of about even in this game. That enemy submarine is probably wreaking havoc, and I'm sorry for the team that I'm not really able to provide much in the way of support. But we're heading away, and we're going to try and surface because we are going to run out of air, and I need to get some speed up. So I'm traveling awfully slowly while I'm under the water, and I'm at risk of the enemy team overrunning me. So there is the T key, which I think I press not at this point. But because our team's spotting, I see that ship go down. That gives me the confidence I need, and I surface to try and get out of dodge. Periscope depth, that's nice. And then as soon as I go full depth, as soon as I surface, I think I surface. Anyway, at periscope depth, I'm doing greater speed. There we go. Detected by the enemy submarine, I surface, which makes that all go away. I don't think I noticed it at the time. So the enemy submarine's underwater hunting me, and I'm on the surface trying to deal with this battleship and trying not to ram the islands. And there it is. There's the enemy submarine. He surfaced behind me. He gets a ping on me. I damage con it because, I was pretty low on hit points. So what I'm doing is I'm turning in, and if you've seen any of my previous videos, you know what's going on here. We're trying to jam his Wes, which is the number one way of dealing with submarines. Now, unfortunately, even at 10% damage, his torpedoes are going to wipe me out, so I'm really going to have to jam his Wes pretty tight, but we're trying to move in, and as you can see, I'm launching torpedoes, he's launching torpedoes, there's a whole lot of stuff going on. He sinks, I don't sink, and while I'm playing the game, I sit there and I think, oh my gosh, the wrong submarine died. So, let's go through it in slow motion. So we're turning in, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the first couple of torpedoes away. They need to run 3 kilometers, I need them in the water. And torpedoes in my tube are no good if I die. I get a ping out, and I'm not sure if that first ping strikes. I think it does, actually. He's got a ping on me, but you can see it's on my nose, and I'm moving to the left. So inadvertently, I'm in a cranking maneuver, which means that his torpedoes are heading to where I'm going to head. My torpedoes are heading directly in towards him. I think my ping comes off cooldown, and I fire another ping into him in order to capture him. You can see that that ping is fading. His missiles are coming in. I put the next ping out. That means that my missiles are my torpedoes are going in for the kill. His missiles are still heading towards me, and then right about now I start to turn slightly to the right. Now what that means is that his torpedoes have stopped homing about the point where I started that turn, so they pass off to my left. So there we go. That's the only kill I get in the match. And normal gameplay resumes. So now I'm trapped underwater, and what I provide for the team is points. I use the T, which is the whatever that thing's called, which tells me that there's a battleship. I go to periscope depth. He's within 5 kilometers. I do not want to be detected by that thing, so I'm going to head perpendicular as fast as I can. Now I probably should have headed there in periscope depth, but I'm running low on battery, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go as deep as I can so that the process of rising up through the different layers actually extends my dive. Hopefully he's going to head off towards our cap and I'm going to stay alive. Now I could try and ping him and send a torpedo his way. A single rear torpedo isn't going to make any difference. I want to keep the points on the team. Our team has entered their cap, which I hadn't noticed at the time, and because of the low number of ships that they've got, which are down here assaulting our cap, they've got no one to try and keep us out. And before I run out of a battery and have to service and get absolutely mauled by everything that BB's got, we come in for a victory, which I feel is pretty good. That was pretty exciting sort of a game. The submarine sinkage was absolutely a bonus. Only 5,000 damage, quite a lot of spotting damage. You can see I was sort of average low in the team, but I think I contributed from the spotting perspective. You can see the enemy cache lot right down there at the bottom. So I think the approach that I've got, which is spotting, securing, then shooting, is probably what I'll stick with. I'll play a few more games. I do try and stay close to the team because I need them to be able to provide the focus fire on some of those risky, particularly risky ships like the destroyers. Loading up the data, there you go. You can see I got damage on a submarine, got a sinkage, took an awful lot of damage from HE fire, and that was the game. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching it. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. And I'm sure next time will also be in a dirty, filthy submarine.